Hey guys, it's Mr. Kevin. How are you? I think we will sing a song and talk about spring and then read a book. Now, the song I want to sing is one of you guys' favorites, Skinamarink. You guys ready? Put your hand up. Wiggle. Skinamarink-a-dink-a-dink, Skinamarink-a-doo. I love you. Skinamarink-a-dink-a-dink, Skinamarink-a-doo. I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening and underneath the moon. Skinamarink-a-dink-a-dink, Skinamarink-a-doo. I love you, I really mean it. I love you. Now, the other day in one of the videos we talked about spring, and of course we talked about spring in class too before we stayed home for all these days. And I asked you to take a look outside in your yard, in your neighborhood, on a walk with mom and dad to see the signs of spring around your house. Now, some of them you can see and some of them you can hear, and you'll see that inside our weekly reader here. Let me move over so you can see. So as I pointed out in my yard and we looked at on our walks at school, and you'll see in your neighborhood there are flowers blooming now, coming up right out of the ground. This is called a daffodil, and its bulb is under the ground, and it stays down there during the winter. It is asleep essentially, and when the weather warms up and the days are sunnier for longer, these flowers know to come up. And I'm sure you've seen in your neighborhood as well, bushes and flowers, trees that are blooming with small flowers. The flowers on bushes and trees will eventually fall off and leaves will come right behind them. Another sign of all of our plants waking up. Obviously, the snow has melted and I doubt that we'll have any more snow, but it could happen. Many of the animals are coming back who were either asleep during the winter or who were far away where it was warm. Even though some birds stay around in the cold, a lot of the birds, there should be more birds now and we can hear them. That's one of the things we can hear happening in springtime. The other thing that happens a lot in the spring is many animals are being born. So it doesn't make sense for an animal like a sheep or a bird or a deer to have babies in the winter when there's no food for them to eat. So they have their babies in the spring when all the new growth is coming up and where food is easier to find. You may start to see baby birds. You may hear some of their cheeps, really high cheep as they're asking for food. In my yard every year, I see baby deer. This is about the time in the next month, the next 4 weeks, next 20 days or so, where you might start to see some baby deer. They're very funny to watch when they're young. They have a hard time walking. So keep your eyes open for spring. There's lots of things happening outside, and I hope you guys are getting outside a lot. Now, we're going to read some more Mo Willems books. Now, remember, Mo Willems does the pigeon books. He does the Knuffle Bunny books. And he does a whole series, and there are even more of these than the other two series, about Elephant and Piggy. And as you can see, this one has a medal on it because it's gotten an award. We've talked about that on some of the books that we've read by not just Mo Willems, but by other authors. And remember that Mo Willems does the pictures and he writes the words. That's not true with every book you see, but that's what Mo Willems does. He does both. And your mom and dad have a link where you can watch Mo Willems, the actual man who did these books, and do some art with him on your computers or your iPads or your tablets or your phones. You can see videos of Mo Willems and do some drawing with him. This book is called A Big Guy Took My Ball. Like his other books, this is a funny story, okay? A big guy took my ball. Now, when you look at Piggy and Elephant, you can see Elephant and most elephants are big guys too. Piggy's not so big, but Elephant is really big. And they're very good friends. And Piggy sang, "A big guy took my ball, Elephant, help." A big guy took my ball. He looks distressed. He looks upset. Gerald! That's the elephant's name. Gerald! I found a big ball, said Piggy. He found a big ball. He says it's his, huh? And it was so fun. And then a big guy came. And he took my ball! You see the big words? That means he's yelling with the exclamation point. He took my ball! Knocked poor Gerald right over. I am so upset. His heart is broken. That means he's sad. It's broken. That is not good, says Gerald. That is not right, says Gerald. Big guys have all the fun. He's a big guy. What does he mean? What about the little guys? Says Gerald. What makes those big guys think they're so big? Piggy says, their size, because they are big? Well, I am big too. I will get your big ball from that big guy, says Gerald. My hero, says Piggy, my best friend, out to help me. Here I go, says Gerald. Let's see how big this big guy is. And how big do you think he is? This big? This big? Here goes. Is he big? And he's got the ball. Look at poor Gerald. He's a big guy, but he's nothing compared to this big guy. Whales are the biggest animals, well, some whales are the biggest animals in the whole world. There are no animals bigger than the biggest whales. So he's big, but he's bigger. Gerald kind of smiles and backs away. Did you get my ball back? Says Piggy. That is a really big guy, says Gerald. You did not say how big he was. He is very big. Just like those letters are big. The word big is written big. He is bigger than I am. Much bigger. I am smaller than he is. Much smaller, says Gerald. Gerald's afraid. He should be. He is so biggy big. Gerald, you did not get my big ball back, did you? I did not. Excuse me? Who do you think that is? Look where it's coming from. Remember we talked about bubbles? The words? Coming from way up here. I think you guessed it. But it knocked both of them over. His voice is so big, he has a big voice for his big body. Thank you for finding my little ball. So it's his ball. Remember at the beginning of the story, Piggy said he found the ball? He found his ball. It was his first. And he's a big whale, and for him the ball is little. For Piggy, he calls that ball his big ball because for Piggy it is a big ball. Piggy says, that is your ball? And you think it is little? Well, I am big, says the whale. He is big. Well, now he looks sad, and this is what he says. So big that no one will play with me. Oh, poor whale. Little guys have all the fun, says whale. Do you remember at the beginning what Elephant said, what Gerald said? He said, big guys have all the fun. And here, The whale's saying little guys have all the fun. Who's right? Do little guys have all the fun? Or do big guys have all the fun? Neither. Big guy, says Gerald. Piggy says, would you like to play whale ball with us? Whale ball? And that's what Whale asks. What is whale ball? We do not know. We haven't made the game up yet. They want to include him. Very nice of Piggy and Elephant. They want to include Big Whale because he's sad and has no one to play with. So they said, let's play whale ball. When Whale asked them, what is it? They said, we don't know. We'll make it up. We'll figure it out. With a little help, we can all have big fun. Now look at their game. Whale squirts water out of his blowhole. That's what it's called, in the back of his head. Blowhole, where whales can squirt out water. An elephant is squirting out water out of his trunk, and the ball shoots back and forth. So Whale is part of the game as well. They all look happy to me. The end. All right, guys, remember, too, that all of your favorite books, almost all of your favorite books, you can find online and watch someone reading them there. Not me, but someone, right? Guys, we'll talk to you soon.